Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is the Smoking DJ, and today we're going to have a simple cook that we're going to prepare. It's a crock-pot meal. We're going to be working with some beef back ribs. These are right here. Just pick these up. They're going to be fantastic. It's pretty much a season, set, and forget, and then come back and check on it in a couple of hours just to turn the meat around or whatnot. So let's begin here. So we have our ribs here. We're going to tear right into them. And this particular recipe, you could do with any type of rib. You could do it with St. Louis ribs. You could do it with baby backs. These just happen to be beef. So, I mean, you can see, I mean, these things are pretty meaty. They are fantastic. So, let's separate them. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ribs. So it was a total of 6 pounds. So they're pretty beefy. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to wash these off a little bit, pat them down, and then we're going to get our seasoning. Let me show you what I'm going to season them with. We're going to do some paprika, garlic powder, some crushed black pepper, the secret ingredient, Coke, and then some of this kosher salt. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start washing these off a bit, and then we'll be right back. Okay, just finishing up the pat down here. Going to go ahead and get some of this excess water. All right, there we go. Very good. So the first thing I want to do is I actually have this little dish here, and I already put some of the salt in here. I'm going to add some more salt. I'm going to put it over here for you guys to see. Put some salt. Put some of this garlic powder. Not too much. You don't want to overwhelm it. Paprika for good flavor here. Probably about a teaspoon. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and crush the pepper. So, and again, all these seasonings are to taste, right? So some of you guys might like it a little bit more salty, some more peppery. You guys can add whatever spice you guys want. If you guys already have those pre-made ones, I know I have some, but for this I'm just going to go through and mix it up. Let's see, you'll see it there. Okay, and I like using the kosher salt because it is a little bit, it's more crystallized and it takes a little bit longer to do salt, so that'll be good. So what you want to just start spreading them. You know what, let me line these up. There we go. It'll be easier. There we go. Give it a couple passes. And remember, what you do to the top, you got to do to the bottom, right? So, and then also, like I always say in all my videos, do not forget the sides. The sides are super important. Though we are going to be using a crock pot with some liquid, which is going to be the Coke. It is important to go ahead and season everything properly. And usually on my regular ribs, I would throw on some brown sugar. But the Coke is going to go ahead and take care of that sweetness. So that sugar element. So not worried about that. Now, although this is a rub, don't rub it in. Pat it in. Right? You want to make sure that it kind of stays in place. A lot of people do this and all they do is uneven the actual spread of the sauce, of the seasoning, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to flip these over. Now, again, with my regular baby back ribs or even the beef ribs, I usually take off this membrane. These are going to be in the crock pot, and I'm going to, as soon as you guys see the end result, I mean, they're going to be falling off the bone, and the membrane is easy to take off. So I'm just going to give it a quick pass just to season it and flavor it. Okay. And I'm going to turn to the side and just focus on where the meat is, right? You don't have to season the bone too much, and there's extra here. Very good. That one's done. Very good. Extra seasoning here. All right. And seeing how big these are, you could get them actually cut down by the butcher. I just went to my local Costco and I picked these up. They're already pre-cut. But if depending the size of your crock pot, you might have to cut them down even smaller. I know I've used the seasoning from down here. There we go. See, that's seasoned perfect. There's some more seasoning over here. So don't let the seasoning go to waste. I mean, use it all up. I go to what's the name, to Ralph's, and I've got in some of these smaller ribs cut down, and they fit perfectly. So we'll try to make it happen. Not a big deal. We got plenty of seasoning over here. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands a little bit, and then start starting up the crock pot. All right, here we go. So we're gonna move this over, bring in our crock pot, kind of replace the spots here. Okay, and my crock pot has different settings. This one, it actually tells you how long you want to cook it for. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to select 10 hours. Okay, so that's perfect. And then what you want to do, you want to get some of this cooking spray. Just kind of spray it on the inside. Here we go. Very good. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these ribs. And if you can, depending how many bones you have, you could put them face down. I like to put them kind of like on their side for it to cook from the sides. And like I mentioned earlier, you could go ahead and flip it right after a couple of hours. So depending how the cook is going, I would then go through and flip them over. Let's see here. Oh, that's a big puppy. Try to get these in here. So yeah, these are these are bigger than what Stater Brothers or Ralph sells. So try to get some of the extra seasoning in there. There we go. Okay, and now the sugar element, right, which is going to be the Coke. So we're going to go ahead and put the Coke in there. And just kind of go on the sides here. Go all around the sides. Oop, I spilled a little bit. Alright. And some people say 12 ounces. I pretty much just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to throw some on top of these since they're not technically in there. Just to get that sugar. There we go. So I don't know. I use yay much. I mean, let me just get that. So, I don't know, maybe about 20 ounces. And then we're going to go ahead and put the top on. Secure it. And let it sit. So, in about, I don't know, what time is it now? Noon. So, about like 4 o'clock or so, I'll take a look at it, see how it's doing. I most definitely will go through and rotate the ones that I have on top and flip those with the ones on the bottom and then turn them over. Right now, just with the vapor and the Coke in there, it'll go through and start breaking down that meat to make it super soft. Eventually, towards the end, you could go ahead and add some barbecue sauce to your liking. I might do that just to go ahead and show you guys. But usually, just with this particular seasoning that you guys put on, you're good to go. This pairs really, really well with white rice. So you do a base of white rice, and then you just throw the rib on top without the bone. You could even throw a little more barbecue sauce on there, or just with the additional sauce that the meat and the spices are going to go ahead and release. You can go ahead and kind of bathe that on top. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it took us 10 minutes. You prep it, set it, and technically speaking, forget it for now. So I'll be back in around 4 hours or so just to show you guys what we are working with, and then we'll move the ribs around. Okay, talk to you soon. All right, so it's been 4 hours since I put the ribs in. It's now about 4:15 or so. And I want to go back. I actually had set the crock pot for 10 hours, and then I did the math, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm not going to be eating this at 10 p.m. Based on what time I had started. So I went ahead and I changed the timer to 6 hours. So my crock pot has 4, 6, 8, and 10. And the 4 and the 6 are the high temperature. The 8 and the 10 are the low temperature, which I would have preferred, unfortunately, for this cook. I'm not trying to eat at 10 o'clock. So I did go ahead and change it. I'm going to say maybe about 20 minutes into it, I realized it, so I changed it to 6 hours so that I'm able to go ahead and get the meat breaking down sooner. So let's see how we're doing. I haven't opened it yet, so I have a plate here. And like I said, I'm going to rotate the ribs here. So let me move this closer. All right, this is the first. Oh yeah, that's awesome. All right, now let's take a look at these ribs so far. So far so good. I do smell a lot of the meat juice from the fat and stuff. And remember I told you guys about the membrane in the back. You see how it's already pulling? And these are the ones that are on top. So I'm going to remove these 3 to then take out another 3 and replace them with these other ones. So let me do that. Let's see what we got in here. And you want to use tongs. You don't want to go ahead and try to bare hand this. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, see, it's already falling off the bone. I mean, you guys can see that. It's falling off the bone. There's the membrane that we talked about. Again, I mean, you pretty much just set it and forget it, and then come and check it once in a while. So I'm going to replace that one with one of the ones that was on top and squeeze that sucker in there. Let me get this other one out. There you go. See, you go. See? There we go. So we got 2 of the top 3. Well, let's just say 1.5 because this one's still not in. I'm going to try to shake this one down. Oh, okay, this one's bigger, so let's flip it. There we go. Nice. Okay. And for the third, oh wow. I'm afraid of pulling this one out since it's already literally off the bone. So you guys can see that there. Right. I'm going to move this one here. Put the last one in that was on top so that it's able to go ahead and break down a little bit more in the juices here. And then just replace them. And actually, what I'm going to do before I put those in, I'm going to try to flip the last 2 that are in here. Ooh, that's hot. There we go. And this other one. Wow. Yeah. And if you guys remember, this was 6 pounds of meat. And it is, I mean, this is the one that I want to turn around right now. I'll show you guys the bone. There you go. So there is a lot of fluid in here, released from the fat that is on the ribs themselves. There we go. Good. And we're going to try to stick these back in there. I'm actually going to add a little bit more Coke in here because the juice of the fat actually overtook what was supposed to happen with the sugar. So we're going to add a little bit more. And again, it would be a completely different cook if it was a slower one, but again, don't want to eat too late. So I'm going to throw this on top here, just like so. I'm going to say maybe another 20 ounces. There we go. And like I mentioned, I moved it to 6 hours, which is a high temperature. And now I'm just going to go through and put this back down. Oh, missed that one. Very good. And so let's take a look here. Per my my clock here, it says I still have 2 hours and 45 minutes. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and reset that and put it at 4 hours. So we shall be having dinner around 8 o'clock since it's 4 o'clock now. So 8 o'clock's not that bad. I actually have a Little League game, so that works out very well. So just going to let it sit for another 4 hours, and then when I get back from the game, I'll go through and pull them, put some barbecue sauce on them. I'm going to work on having some white rice available as well, like I mentioned, to lay down as the base, and then we'll show you the end result. So for now, that's all you had to do. Again, flip them around and rotate the ribs themselves. See you in a bit. All right, so it is now, oh my gosh, it is close to 9. So the ribs have been cooking now for an additional, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. The cool thing about the Crockpot is it actually shifts, once it's done with the timer, it'll shift down to just warm to keep the meat warm. So I started a couple cups of rice like I had talked about. We got some rice right here going on in the rice cooker. There's the ribs. Let's do the opening here. All right. Put that over here. All right, and let's go. I'm gonna put the name on this tray here. You know, there you go. You can kind of see when I pull them out. So before I pull them out, I'm just gonna get them wet a little bit. There you go. Oh yeah, that looks good. And you want to try to grab as much as you can before they start falling off the bone. Then you lose some meat or whatnot into the soup here. So. Just like that. See, look, can you see that? Look at all that fat that didn't render down. It's a lot of, oh, dude, this rib's falling apart. And just to kind of show you guys, I mean, I'm just gonna, it just good. Tastes real good. You know what? These ribs actually had a lot of fat, so they let go of a lot of that into the sauce, so it didn't really caramelize. I'm not happy about that, but I will throw barbecue sauce on them, and that'll make it up here. Let's see here. There we go. And these were the ribs that I put in afterwards. These were the ones that were on top at first. I mean, you can see that. I mean, just shaking it's falling apart. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 2 more ribs in here. Now, other people that like to go through, and you could throw vegetables in here. You could throw potatoes in there, carrots. I mean, it's your crock pot. You can do whatever you want. I just wanted to do the ribs separately. But again, I think it was just too much grease for, oh, there was a big chunk of meat. It was just too much grease for the mixture of the Coke. And that's why it didn't really caramelize. It gave it a good color. So right now I'm just going to go through and kind of fish around here. Make sure I'm not missing out on any big chunks of meat. And can you see it fell off the bone? Doesn't look like it. Okay, very good. So going back to the stars here, the meat. So again, I mean, look at that. I mean, I could literally, if I just work on this one, I could just go and push it off. And look at that. All you get is the meat, right? So that's kind of where you want to get. I mean, that is extremely clean. So I'm going to do that. And then eventually I'll get to the bottom, which is where the membrane is, and kind of get rid of that. Because all I want really is the rib meat to go on top of the rice once that's done. So that should be another 10 minutes. Look, I mean, check this out. Just shake, and it comes right off. So real super tender. Like an example, this, all this fat. Can I just take that off? Yeah, beautiful. So I wish there was a diet, right? That you just shake it off like this and the fat comes off. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and continue putting off the meat off the bones. Prepping that. I'm going to use some Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce, which I really like. And then I'll do my platter. I'll do a plate, I'm sorry, with some white rice. It's almost done. I can see at the top of it. And then I'll throw some meat, throw some sauce on there, and then we'll be good to go. So check it out. Try it. You know, thinking about it now, seeing at the first 4 hours how much juice was in there. I should have gotten the cup and kind of gotten some of that juice out, some of that excess fat, so that it would allow the Coke to go ahead and kind of caramelize a little bit. So lesson learned, right? I haven't done this size rib in, I mean, actually ever. I usually do the smaller ribs, or I do the baby back. So lesson learned. So again, if you guys are going to try it, if you guys see that there's a lot of juice in there aside from the Coke, kind of scoop it out and then start all over with a little bit of fresh coat of Coke, and let that caramelize with the heat, and then eventually it should be good to go. So I'll post a picture at the end of the video of the end result. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a great afternoon. Good luck. And we'll see you on the next video.